3, 2, 1, action. Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Record, where we talk about whatever we want.
Wrong show.
I know.
You startled Gina.
I forgot. I was holding the paper and not the microphone. Oh God. And I didn't even drink.
True. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, we switched.
Yeah, I didn't even drink this time.
I drank.
I'm just dumb.
I'm gonna be as sober as fuck.
Nikki drank. Nikki and Tiff took
No, I didn't take a
Nikki
shot.
and Tiff took shots.
Oops.
I'm just dumb.
You didn't drink?
I know, right?
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, welcome back to Big Mood. We got the girls here. Who's here?
Jessica.
Nikki Limo Green.
Oh my God.
Ooh, I'm Tiffany.
We're going government names?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Gina redacted.
What would Gina be short for?
Everyone always asks me if it's short for Regina.
Oh, right. I forgot that name
Regina. I'm the
existed.
first one. I don't gotta re anything.
Vagina.
It just sounds like Regina at that point.
right?
That's why I don't like it.
True. The city in Canada? It's so funny to me that that's the name.
Genitals? Yeah, genitals.
Ew.
Genitalia. Do you want to touch my genitalias?
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah. Right?
That's
My
really-
name is just all genitalias.
It's very, very, that's kind of fitting for the episode
Yeah.
today.
It's genitalias.
Tiff, what are we going to talk about today?
All right, so today I wanted to talk about virginity and what it means to us.
Virginity.
Virginity.
God, yeah, this is great. Perfect.
Girl,
Just quit, Gina.
you're fired. How about that?
I love cheese.
I'm Donald Trump. You're fired.
It's the last episode of the day.
It is.
I want to go home.
But yeah, the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because one of you lovely viewers sent me a message on a DM, and I'm not going to shout you out because I don't know if this is personal to you, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I will read. So she asked 2 questions. She said, number 1, is it weird that I keep turning down every guy that has wanted to take my virginity? I don't know why I do it, because I do want to lose it, but I just don't know. Number 2, is it weird for me to say that I am a virgin to some people, but at the same time tell others that I'm not? Again, I don't know why. So I related to her question because I remember when I was younger.
So this girl's younger than...
Oh yeah, by the way, she's 16. She does include the fact
She's still
that
a child.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not weird that you're still a virgin.
No, dude.
Exactly, it's not. But I do understand what she's getting at, like her question in terms of like, is it weird that this is the way I'm approaching my virginity with society? Because she is turning down guys that she would potentially maybe, I don't know, want to lose her virginity with, but maybe she's guarding it for some reason. So that to me was an interesting topic because for me, I was a complete opposite when I was her age. I felt like virginity was like this thing I needed to get rid
You're a
of.
loser.
Because of the people that I was around too. Because
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in the neighborhood I was living in, being 16 and still a virgin, because that's when I lost my virginity. I was 16. It was weird. Like usually people lost it way younger. And so for me personally, I really wanted to just be like, listen, I want to get rid of this thing so I can already join the conversations about sex and understand what everyone's talking about. But afterwards, and then now looking back and now me being an adult and realizing the decisions I made just really made me rush into something I don't think I was ready for. So I feel like for me personally, if I could give my younger self advice, is just be like, hey, just take it slow. There's no need to rush into what society's already doing, and you don't need to feel like you're being left out because that's something just really important to you as a person or whatever. Like whoever values their virginity, you know?
Yeah, I think that like it's almost unfortunate now, speaking as someone who's 33 years old, to look at a 16-year-old and like listen to her talk about like, oh, I kind of want to get rid of it, but I kind of don't. Like I feel like I should, and then I kind of lie to people about it, and it's like this girl's 16 and like it's weird that at that age she has to feel like either one, she's not fitting in because of that, or like she's missing out on something. And I'm like, girl, sex with guys half the time sucks. You're not missing out.
The first few times
It's gonna suck really bad. And then also it's like it's a huge thing because your life kind of is split, like pre-sex life and then post-sex life. You're never going to be the same again. So it is a big difference. And so I'm glad that she's not like taking that decision lightly because she will know, she will basically, you do kind of lose your innocence at that point. Like you're not the same. And your mind gets thrown off track into the dick sand after having
New
sex.
term we learned today.
I swim in it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Got a snorkel.
Yeah, just I'm fine down here, guys.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's bad at all that I feel like, honestly, if you can hold out even longer, that's probably going to be healthy for you. But also, if you don't want to hold out, that's okay too. I lost mine at 14. I was almost 15. It was a few weeks before my 15th birthday. I don't necessarily regret that, but if I would have waited longer till like 18 or something, I think maybe that could have taken my life in a different direction, because I was already like becoming obsessed with boys too young, whereas like I should have been more focused on myself, my school,
Yes.
like, you know, everything that would get me ahead. I was already kind of like lost in boyland, where my life could have maybe jump started towards making myself a better person, not being
That's exactly
boy
how I
obsessed.
feel, actually.
Yeah.
And then
But that's not necessarily just because you lost your virginity, right? It's more like your hormones are going crazy, and during that time you're like, you know, you're surrounded by boys in high school now, and all of a sudden you find them attractive.
Yeah, but then I
right?
think once I did start having sex, it's like that became then like a game to play, or like, you know, like it definitely changed the course of who I was. Like,
Right.
oh, now I'm gonna go to this party and I'm actually gonna try to get that guy to like have sex with me. So instead of just like, you know, like, oh, I go out and like, oh, but I'm just gonna go back home later and still do my homework. You know, there is a big difference from like
Right.
pre-sex me to post-sex me. I turned into a huge fucking whore afterwards.
It's so interesting though, because I was different than that.
Yeah.
I guess not. I don't want to say opposite. I wasn't opposite, but I guess I was always more socially behind, and so most of my school I was very good grades girl, like got like studied, got good grades, all that shit. I always like wanted to be like, you know, a girlfriend or whatever. I was super shy around guys until I got my first boyfriend, and even then we were dating for over a year. And I thought like I was gonna wait till marriage to have sex. Like it was very like, people don't have sex before they're married, or if you did, like that's like really taboo. Like, and I only knew a few people that had had sex in my friend group that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did it so young. And I don't know if I just was in a bubble, because I'm
think
sure
so.
like
Yeah.
tons of other people at my school were doing it. I just was so nerdy that I was like, oh my god,
Sex was not even like a thing yet.
It went in your body. Oh my god. And so yeah, then when I decided like, well, I'm probably gonna marry my boyfriend. Like I'm probably gonna marry him.
Oh, to be young and dumb.
How cute.
We're so dumb.
Yeah.
So we decided I was going to lose my virginity, and it took 3 times because it hurt so bad. And I even thought that was a sign that maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I should have been waiting till marriage.
God is like smiting your vagina. And he's like, no.
But even after that, because like sex to me was more about the connection with him than about the sex, because we were in love and like I felt very connected. I didn't just want to have sex with guys. Like I really felt like you had to feel like you were going to marry them, because even after we broke up I was like, okay, well, I fucked up, but the next guy, I'm going to marry him beforehand.
That's so weird, because it just turned into a conquest for me.
Well, see, that happened after like 25. Maybe 'cause-
Jesus.
yeah, I was
wow,
not,
I was early on that one.
I really didn't open up sexually until I took that pole dancing class that I told you guys about.
Oh.
Like when I was 21, I was very goofy about sex. I was very like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really hard because as an actress, they kept sending me out on these like sexy roles, like sexual roles, because that's just what my look was.
Because you're
but
hot.
I like and exotic looking,
Yeah.
you know, it was like ethnically
get it, Nikki.
ambiguous.
Jesus
We get it, you're hot.
I was very, very hot as a guy, and like I just didn't get it. I like didn't get how to be hot, you know. Like I couldn't own
you're so humble.
in my hotness. Yeah,
so
so I was
humble.
like, wait, no, but I'm like really smart. Like so, like I can't be hot. I'm
You're
smart.
like the girl with the glasses and her hair in a ponytail.
Yeah, except I didn't have glasses because I had 20/20 vision, so it was
Oh
like
my
really
God.
difficult
And
to
I have
like
perfect vision.
understand.
at least she had braces, guys.
Well, this was like after I
that.
got them off, so.
Yeah, she was hot at that
But I
point.
still felt like I had crooked teeth in the inside, you know?
Aw, it's in there still. you
Yeah.
know? I get it.
But after getting sexually liberated by that pole dancing class, and then finding good sex, slipping into that dick sand,
Well, you gotta have a lot of sex in order for it to feel good. So that's the catch-22.
and there's just different partners that I feel like
yeah.
they're like I didn't know what it was missing in sex. I thought
Yeah.
people were overhyping sex too much, and then I actually had good sex, and I was like, holy
But you were
shit.
what, 25?
I was like 23 3 or 4 at that point.
Yeah, so it ain't
And
gonna
then-
happen in your teens, probably.
No.
Oh, yeah.
But it could.
You think
I
it's
don't
good,
know.
but then you don't know until you're older.
So it
That's
wasn't
true.
until after that I was like, not only have I had good sex, but I'm also sexually liberated.
and I'm
then
hot,
it became,
and I know I'm hot, right?
And I have 20/20 vision.
and I have
Straight
really
T.
low self-esteem. So please fill this void in
oh
my soul.
yeah, this huge hole.
Yeah, it's very huge.
But it's still great. It's still great.
Yeah, and tight somehow.
Yeah, got it.
It's a tight, huge hole.
Huge and
It's got length, you know.
I'm doing my Kegels right now. Leave me alone.
oh, I just did one as soon as you said that.
No, I did too. It's contagious.
Kegels.
No,
Kegels.
hey,
Let's do them at the
ladies,
same time.
It's Kegel reminder. Ready?
Every-
3, 2, 1. Kegel.
Out and in and out and in and
Where
out
we
and
Kegel
one more time and
whatever
one more
we
time
want.
and wrap it up and one more time and go.
Like an aerobics class.
I feel like it strengthens your butthole too. Anyways,
wow.
Does it strengthen your pelvic floor?
yeah.
It is your
Ah.
your.
That's what's moving,
yeah.
I think.
You're
Oh.
contracting your
It just,
pelvic floor
you happen
muscle.
to feel it more in the
Because I have a
hole.
really bad pelvic floor.
Obviously.
How did that happen?
Like I laugh and pee. Like I don't know.
Oh, I
think
sneezed
that's
and peed
urinary.
the other
Yeah,
day. I
sneeze and pee.
sneezed and peed the
Yeah,
other day,
that's
and
a
I was
bladder
like,
thing,
I
no?
am done.
Dude, when I
No,
had
it's a pelvic
bronchitis,
floor.
it was just like coughing and
peeing.
it was
You
a
have
mess.
the bladder of a 57-year-old
yes,
woman.
that's why
Whoa.
I'm frightened of having children. Like,
Oh yeah, you're gonna be blown
I'm gonna
out.
have to be
Nikki
in
Limo.
diapers for a while.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's very hot. I'm very hot, guys.
This conversation, I'm just fucking just ripping my Kegels right now.
Yeah.
This is,
I gave everyone boners
Scaring
and took
you
them all away.
I want to be able to crush a wiener with how
Ooh,
strong
yeah.
my
Oh
vagina
my God.
is.
Damn.
Sometimes when I do it, I get chills. Do you ever do a Kegel and then you get chills?
Yes.
Your eye twitch.
What is that?
Like
I
after
do-
you come?
Oh no! Like right now, I
Oh.
just like if I do like 1 or 2, and then I go. Ugh.
Oh yeah, true. True.
It's not like an orgasm. It's just the chills.
Yeah.
Like I feel it in my
Like
neck.
the after pee. After pee.
I don't-
Yeah,
yeah,
the
I love
after
the
pee
after
shit.
pee chill.
I never get that.
Oh.
People
Well,
talk about that,
maybe
but I never
this
get
is
The
how you get
shivers,
it.
the pee shivers.
If I do Kegels, I get shivers.
Because I don't get a shiver with the Kegel. Well, anyway.
Anyway, back to virginity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so what you were saying, Jess, it really resonated with me because of the fact that I got pregnant so young.
Yeah.
So I felt there was actually a good chunk of my 20s where I felt really guilty about feeling this way, but I did feel very resentful, or not resentful, what's the word? Regretful that I lost my virginity so young and I became a mother so young. But obviously there's a beautiful side in it, which you can feel two things
He's
at
all right.
once, which is the fact that
Oh
I
my
do
God.
love my son.
It's all right. He's cool.
Yeah, we need to normalize like feeling two things at
Yeah.
once. Like you,
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
can have your son, but also wish that you hadn't, like,
Yeah, you
done
know,
that so
recently he
early.
asked me too. He's like, "Do you regret having me so young?"
Aw.
And I was, of
What a
course, not going to
sweet
say
child.
yes, because that is, I mean, that honestly is the truth. Because I
complicated
did feel like that.
question.
Exactly, I couldn't answer that, especially for a 12-year-old.
Well, you have to say I don't regret you.
That's
Just
what I said.
The
Yeah, yeah.
timing of it.
Exactly.
So that's what I ended up saying. I was like, no, I don't regret it. It shaped me into who I am today, and I love who I am today. And obviously, I love you. You're all these things, right? I did mention, however, how I was like, the one thing I do wish I would have done differently is wait longer and wait until I was ready and more mature. You would have had a way better mother than what you ended up having. You had a teenager for a mother, and a lot of bad came out of that, really, honestly, because I was so immature and impatient. I didn't know what I was doing. But for those reasons, that's the main, like the reason why I do say that if I could go back in time and just, not lose my virginity so young, or like view virginity from a different lens, I would have waited as long as I could, because it's true. You really do, at least for me, you really do lose your innocence. You're not the same person anymore. It does change and shape your life in a different way. And a lot of people, especially at that age, like being so young, because I remember being 15 and thinking, I don't give a fuck if I'm gonna be different. I want to be different. I'm tired of being this. Like I don't want to be this child. Like I want to grow up. I'm ready to grow up. And
These kids want to grow up so fast.
Yeah, that's
Growing
the
up is a
thing.
scam, guys.
It
Don't
is a
fucking do it.
scam. It's
God,
the worst.
Seriously.
I don't know. I kind of
sucks.
like it. Just play with kittens all day.
Nah, bro. I sneezed the other day and I pulled a muscle. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
true, true.
Your back
You do
out.
have to
Yeah.
exercise.
Basic shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, so that's the thing too, because, and this is something that I tell Isaac all the time, because he's 12, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea. But right now, and I know it feels like an eternity because it's been your whole life, but you being a child, it is gonna go so fast. Next thing you know, you're gonna be an adult and you're stuck being an adult for the rest of your life, and you'll never again understand or feel that innocence and like that joy of being a child. And I try to tell him as much as, like, obviously I'm his parent, so he's in one ear not the other, but I'm like, you have no idea, like you really don't know, like just stay a kid and enjoy it, because it changes forever and you can't go back. So
Yeah, I feel like I'm a super sex positive person. I have a very high body count. Over 20, under 50.
Good job, honey.
Good to go.
I honestly don't know where it's at this point. I'm probably under 40 too, but yeah, I feel like though the older I get, the more I do kind of feel like, yeah, holding on to that and like focusing as a woman, focusing more just on your own personal growth and things like that, and not, because I do think you get caught up in relationships, you get caught up in sex, you get caught up in, when you have sex with a man, it releases, or I guess even any kind of sex with any gender, it releases a lot of chemicals. So you stop really focusing on yourself and your own life, and you start focusing on relationships and everything. Like, but when you're young, it's really not the time for that. Like, you're not mature enough to be in a relationship. You're really just sidetracking your life. So the more sex you're having, the more you're gonna get. Until you're married and you know this is your life and it's set up. But before that, if you're having a ton of sex with a ton of different people, just so focused on that kind of stuff, you're really not focusing on your life and making it better, bettering yourself before that partner comes. So I feel like I've kind of changed my thoughts a little bit on like having sex so young or having so much sex so young. It's like there's better things you could be doing with your time.
True.
You know?
For sure, because I think about this topic a lot too, because of the fact that I have a kid and he's getting closer to that age where he's gonna be going into that realm.
It's hard to tell like a 16-year-old boy with a boner.
Yeah.
To,
No, God, weird. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. But the thing is too, like I've already like made my own internal decision. Like, I'm not gonna tell him not to have sex, because obviously he's not gonna fucking listen
whatever
to
his
me.
mom says isn't gonna matter.
Exactly, it's not gonna matter. So I want
The opposite. Just loves telling that you love sex so much and gross him out.
Ew. Yeah, usually the opposite happens. Huh?
No, I don't want to fuck his
just be like
sex
reverse
life in the
psychology.
future either.
Just be like, mom loves dick. She's taking trains. You should try it sometime. Just
God.
scare the shit out of him.
Oh my
No,
God.
because you know what happened? that just sparked a memory. So when I was 13 or 12 or 13, I remember being in Mexico and I was with my stepmom, and she asked me randomly, and we didn't have like a tight connection. She was significantly younger than my dad, like 20 years younger. So she was closer to my age. And so she had this weird thing with me. So we weren't that tight. But the point is, this one day she was in a good mood. She was talking to me and she was asking me like, hey, are you still a virgin? And I was like, yes. Like, I'm like 13, dude. Yes, of course I'm a virgin. And she goes,
Weird.
yeah. And then she goes, oh, you're a virgin? Oh my gosh. Oh, you don't even know how amazing sex is.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
there's
so good.
it's
And your
very
dad
to-
is just so amazing. And I'm like,
It's so toxic.
That's so gross.
but I'm saying, like, that I didn't think about that again.
Yeah.
So it didn't work. I still wanted to lose my
Oh.
virginity at 16. Or maybe she, like, incepted me subconsciously where I wanted to experience
But
that
also,
even
you
more.
were
I don't
still
know.
so young that I don't think nothing was really going to happen at 13 for you, because
for
you
sure.
just weren't really there. So it did take several more years
Yeah.
for you to actually get there hormonally anyways.
True.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
You weren't around any weirdos.
I think it's gross how like virginity is so different for male and female.
It's
Yes.
Like if
super
you're a
different.
woman,
Extremely
like
different.
yeah, if you're a woman, oh, you lost your virginity, you're used goods. But if you're a man, you're like, oh, you lost your virginity, you're a real man now. You know, it's just
Exactly.
like.
Do you
bitch,
guys think that
fuck
there's
up.
an endless like stream of virgins?
Right.
Like there's half women and half men in the world, and if they want to have as much sex as they want to have with all these different women, y'all are gonna run out of fucking virgins. It's math, okay? What do you think
I
you're
like
gonna
math.
do? What do you think is gonna happen?
Well,
Girls
the
are gonna
kids are
sleep
getting
with more than
older.
one guy.
And then they become virgins when they're older.
I think it's just the
Yeah, I
idea
know.
because
It's
biologically men are trying to spread their seed, you know, they're trying to, you know, spread their bloodline
But
through
also
the
not
world.
take care of another person's seed. So
Yeah.
you have to be a virgin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then women, like, you got to be home taking care of the kids. You can't be out fucking a bunch of dudes. You got to
Yeah.
be like just one man,
very outdated.
his seed,
Yeah.
take care of that.
You know what's interesting too is like the whole misconceptions are around the hymen. So for those of you that don't know, the hymen is like this little very thin tissue, and it's different for all women too,
Yeah.
because there's some hymen that's like completely sealed. There's some hymen that just has like a little hole in the middle. There's some that have like multiple holes. And there's some that women don't even have a hymen. And so the thing around the whole hymen thing is that back in the
Popping
day,
your cherry.
yeah, like popping your cherry. So back in the day, they used to examine girls to make sure that they were virgins because they needed to have that hymen intact. And women would actually get killed if they didn't have hymens back then.
You know what that reminded me of? T.I. Remember that
exactly
thing
what I was
T.I.
gonna
would
say.
get his daughter's
Oh,
hymen
yeah.
checked.
right?
How fucking
yeah.
gross
That's fucking
is that?
gross. First of all, who the like that's your daughter. Let
Second
her
of
own
all,
like her
there's-
own body, dude. Leave her alone.
There's no scientific proof
Yeah.
behind that. Like you're literally working on an antiquated like idea. Like
Yeah.
hymens do not tell you whether or not a girl is a virgin, first of all. Second of all, hymens can repair themselves because it is human tissue. Just like if you get a cut, it's gonna heal up. So if a hymen is like open or whatever, it could close back up or whatever it is. Like
That's just some fucking medieval shit, dude. Like grow up.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
2020.
happens to me. It keeps closing back up because every time it feels like I'm losing my virginity.
same too.
No, your husband just has a massive cock.
yeah, yeah,
we
that's
get it,
true.
Nikki. You're tight.
We
God,
get
Jesus. Jess, look at my hair.
Gina, you have the cutest fucking colored hair
It's
right
so
now.
pretty.
It's
It's so
purple.
cute.
It's like it's got all these different shades of what is in there.
I have purple,
Blue,
blue, pink,
Teal.
Purple, blue, pink, but then the majority on the top
Silver.
is this like silver.
purple. You know what I used to take care of it, Jess?
What do you use, Gina?
Function of Beauty.
I love Function of Beauty.
Me
I've been
too.
using Function of Beauty for like a year and a half now, and I've only repurchased once. That's how long those bottles last. They're pretty big, solid bottles with a lot of product.
Big
The
boys.
16-ounce ones, they're and what I like about them is it's not super watered down. Like it's like not like the grocery store shitty 2-in-1 shampoos that are 56% water.
I don't trust a person that uses a 2-in-1.
Yeah, well, I mean,
What are you trying to get away
a
with?
lot of men use 2-in-1. So are you saying you don't trust men?
When I go home
Yes.
with a man and I see like a 3-in-1, I block him on social media before I even get out of the bathroom.
I forgive the men. I forgive the men for using that.
they
But
could,
you
they could have a
girls,
pass.
you girls, we all have very different hair. We have a lot of hair to deal with. Well, most of us do.
Unique issues.
Function of Beauty makes it easy to take care of your personalized issues. They have a ton of formulations. I think, what do we say, like 1 trillion formulations or something like that? Way too many formulations. Along with hair care, they now offer customizable body wash and body lotion. I can't wait till they build out their whole brand. I'm just gonna buy all of this
Hell
stuff.
yeah.
The new body wash and lotion are tailored to your skin moisture level and other preferences, and you can pick your favorite color and fragrance, just like with the hair care. Function of Beauty's formulas always use clean ingredients, are cruelty-free, and every bottle is individually formulated to give you what you need to look and feel your best. So what are you waiting for? Go to functionofbeauty.com/bigmood to take your 4-part hair profile quiz and save 20% on your first order. That's functionofbeauty.com/bigmood for 20% off. And let them know you heard about it from our show. functionofbeauty.com/bigmood.
Yeah. So going back to this question from the viewer. So her second question was, is it weird that I lie to people about my virginity? And that really brought me back to when I was a virgin. I remember feeling the societal pressures of needing to know what inside sex jokes that people were saying, especially because of the media and movies and music. Right now we have WAP as like a huge hit. So a lot of people
My anthem.
Mine too.
So a lot of people, virgins, are probably feeling like, oh man, like maybe I should hide this. Like maybe it's like something I shouldn't even be talking about. So I don't know. That's
Do
interesting.
you guys remember that movie Kids from the
I
90s?
didn't watch it.
Well, I remember watching it. So it's this like pretty crazy graphic movie about kids and like drugs and sex and all this
Was
stuff.
it 13?
Huh?
13? Or it's another one?
It's called Kids, I think. But yeah, you can look it up. Anyways, but I just remember, I think during that movie, there was a point where with this one girl, she went and like gave a blowjob for the first time or something. And then all the girls gathered around her and they're like, what does it taste like? What is it like? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm putting myself in the mind of that. And she would I think she said something like, oh, it kind of tastes like butter or something like that. And I remember thinking like, ew, what
I've
the
never
fuck?
been so disgusted from a sentence in my life.
I know, but then so it's just like feeling kind of like, oh, there's this like new exciting thing, like she has the secret, she knows what's what a penis tastes like, or so it's like I get that in high school, like there is that pressure. So if you're with a crowd of girls that have like all given head and had sex and stuff, of course you're gonna want to be like, oh yeah, I'm cool, I know what's up, and then if you're around the nerds like Nikki Limo, you're gonna be like, Yeah, dude, I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll tell you how nerdy I am. I looked up how to give a blowjob on Google.
you had
years
Google?
Max Jeeves.
Yeah, it was when Google was new. It wasn't very good because I also looked up how to
Back when
masturbate.
you had to put like the pluses and
You
all
had to
the
put
things
you
into
had to
Google.
put keywords only. You couldn't put like a sentence.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like how do this. Like
Yeah.
you had to be like
blow plus
blowjob best moves.
plus- yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Christ, we
didn't have to put the pluses yet.
We are so
God.
But I went. There was only a few posts up because Google was like, no.
Yeah, it was crap.
It was not good. But I studied the shit out of it because I wanted to be prepared so that if I ever did get presented,
You did homework for blowjob.
I did.
She would.
My first blowjob though, they said it was the best one they've ever gotten.
Really?
So
Oh,
I mean,
what'd you do, girl? Give me some tips.
he was on.
Can you give me some pointers? I've sucked a lot of dicks, but I'm not sure if it's as good as you.
You twirl your tongue around it while it's in your mouth.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
first of all, my
You gotta
tongue's
cover
short.
your teeth though. Oh yeah, you
this
got
is
short
very-
ass tongue.
This is not very inclusive for us short tongue people. I'm a little
Maybe
bit
you can
offended.
get a tongue extension.
Yeah, get a
somehow.
tongue extension.
What?
Get a tongue piercing.
Oh, that can do it.
That's too old for a tongue piercer.
Yeah, no.
Well, you do that. Cover your teeth for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, they said like to get it really, really wet first. Like,
Yeah.
like lick the entire thing.
Lots
and
of
just, like,
saliva.
from the base to the tip.
Yeah.
Like to get it just completely
Yeah.
soaking wet, and then like you kind of tease like
slow
before.
your way into it too. You know, just like a girl getting oral. You don't just fucking go right in it.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of work your.
You keep them on the edge of their seat, like what's coming next? What's gonna happen?
Oh my god!
Scraping.
She's just using
her
a
teeth.
scraping
That's
motion
a
with her
what not
teeth.
to do.
Yeah,
That's a really flat dick, too.
her two fingers are not a dick shape.
Yeah, so I like was like taking notes, like making sure I was studied up.
I
before
Imagine
it
your
happened.
parents came across these notes.
know.
What would you have said?
Oh God, I would cry.
I used to print out
How to give
literotica
a blowjob.
stories, and then I would shred them to pieces so my parents could never find it.
Dang.
Honestly, I feel like you did way too much work because the guys
did.
aren't fucking doing
They didn't
shit like that
care.
for us when we're younger.
Oh, no.
Like, there's no guy that's like, how
I'm
do
a
I eat a vagina?
perfectionist, though. I was
I
like,
know.
I need to know, like, because I didn't want to be laughed at, like, for not like that's how you do it. I was
They
just
don't
really
even know
scared.
how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't know that though.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to look like a noob.
I'm gonna say girls that are young, don't fucking do homework to give a blowjob. Figure it out over time. They don't deserve a good blowjob at 16.
It's true. Also,
They
figure
don't.
out what you like too, because that was the hardest part, was guiding them when they're giving you oral,
Yeah.
like to what you like to make you orgasm.
Don't be too shy to tell them what you want, because this is a two-person job, man.
Yep.
It's-
Yeah.
Everybody's got to fucking work together
Yeah,
on this.
but like if you're 16-year-old and a
You're
female,
shy.
you're not gonna. Yeah, I mean, you have to get older and more comfortable with yourself.
Plus,
to-
everyone's vagina is different. So a guy that's like, dude, I'm so good at giving oral or whatever, like he does.
He's good at for that one girl.
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe she really likes it, but then he tries the same move on the next
It
girl
doesn't
and it
work.
doesn't
Or maybe
work.
she lied because she didn't know how to
Yeah,
communicate.
true. That's probably the truth.
Yeah.
She lied.
So remember, guys and girls, everyone, we all have the same parts, just arranged in different ways. Because
It's like
of the
Mexican
fact-
food.
yeah,
exactly.
pretty much.
Exact thing. It's just a different shape now.
It is.
The soul mass is exactly like a
hilarious.
fucking taco, but flat. I don't understand. But it still tastes good. Either way.
Yeah, so the reason why I say that is because it's also kind of fucked up how our society is so fixated on misinformation with like cultural misinformation, like what I said earlier about the hymen, and also like about how tight or how loose, or like lips inside, lips outside, your nipples like inverted or whatever it is. Like,
Yeah, people.
it's all
The biggest
normal.
one is guys thinking like if you've had sex multiple times that your vagina is going to be way looser.
Yeah.
Every time
Like,
I
what
see
the
that
fuck?
comment, and I'm just like, dude, you're definitely a fucking
I'm like, it
virgin.
gets-
Yes.
You just called yourself out so hard.
Yes.
if you
It's
think
one
that.
gauge looser. That's not a virgin anymore. And had sex. That's the one gauge that it gets looser. I mean, your virgin vagina is obviously different from not a virgin one, but that it doesn't fucking continuously get wider and wider.
And
No.
it's not consistent too, because they're like, well, she had sex with a lot of dudes, so she's loose. But what about one woman who had sex with one guy who
Exactly.
a
Over and over
thousand
and over again.
times? So
Makes
in that
no
logic,
sense.
in that logic, if I fucked 5 guys once, I'm looser than Nikki, who's fucked her one dude 6,000 times. Like that doesn't make sense at all.
And that's
6,001.
6,000 times.
That's actually the problem too around sex and in cultural opinions, because then they become like quote unquote facts when they're actually not facts and not even based on science. Because if you just take 1 second to think about it, like what Gita literally just said, you can see how it makes no sense.
Google's free, bitch. Look it up. Come on,
a girl
teach
that
yourself.
was
And it's
married
much better
for,
now.
A girl that was married for 10 years to one guy, her vagina is supposedly tighter than mine.
right.
Sure.
And not just that, but then I guess again, like with the cultural fixation and also with porn, they're always showing you like the cleanest, like pussy all the way in, like lips in kind of thing, very clean, very like no hair, no nothing, no blemishes at all. But people forget that they actually have post editing, like they edit the videos or whatever, and also they've had a lot of cosmetic surgery, whatever it is. Everyone is different. Literally every single person is different, and everything is normal. And that's the thing that I'm currently learning through this book that I've been reading called Come As You Are by Emily Nagoski. And it's such a good book. Like it's really opening my mind and making me feel like, oh my gosh.
What's the
I'm
spark
just
notes on that book?
normal.
What is it about?
So what she's talking about is a lot of like how women's brains, like the way we are when it comes to arousal and desire. Oh, I learned this really
So
cool
guys
thing.
should read this.
Fuck yeah. No,
Okay.
guys definitely should read
Okay.
this. 100%.
What's it called again?
Men and women. Come As You Are. But
C-O-M-E.
it's not, yes. C-O-M-E. Come As You Are. It's so good. So what I've learned recently is this thing called arousal non-concordance. And that
What the
shit
fuck is
blew
that?
my fucking mind. So what it means is when, so you know how commonly we think that if a man has a boner, he is horny, he's ready for sex. That's not true. There's a lot of instances where your genital, or women, if we are turned on and horny and we're not wet, that means we're lying. Like a lot of people think like, oh, you're lying, you're a fucking liar. But that's not true. There's this thing that happens. So I forgot the stats already, but for men, I think it's like 50 or 60% where it overlaps, which is when they are like their brain is turned on and their genitals are turned on. It's a 50 or 60% overlap. Like, yes, this is correct.
Wait, so half the
I'm
time they
aroused.
have boners, they don't want them?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
random
sense.
bonus?
Since
That's
they get them in
that's
class a lot.
Or the other
I
way
mean,
around.
as a young kid, but like as a grown man,
yeah, with
half
men.
of their
yes.
boners are unnecessary.
And not just their boners. It's when they're aroused and they can't get a boner. Like the same thing. That's called arousal
There's a lot of
non-concordance.
those.
It's freaking crazy. So then it's also, but for women, I think it's like 40%, like it's lower. So for us, like that happens often too, where it's like our brain wants sex, but our vaginas are not responding in terms of getting wet, or the other way around, where it's like there was this one example that she used in the book where a friend of hers said that her partner, they were trying something kinky where she was completely nude. He tied her hands up, like up on something, and then he put a broomstick in between her legs. And then he left, and she was just there, and she was like, I'm fucking bored, like I'm not into this, like this is not my thing.
Did he
and
put
then
it inside of her?
no, like just laid it on, like just so she
near
could
her.
hold it like
Okay.
like a witch, like riding the broomstick kind of thing.
How funny.
So just holding it there. And then when he came back, she was like, yeah, I'm not into this, like let's try something else. And he's like, oh really, you're not into it? Then why are you so wet? And so that's arousal non-concordance. Her body reacted
Was
to something
responding
that's
to it.
sexually relevant
Well, that
to
happens
the body.
with rape cases too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Still
why
orgasm.
they say that men can't get raped. That's but a lot of men are like, I didn't agree. My body
Yeah.
betrayed me.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's arousal
And
non-concordance.
the same thing with women, because they would get raped and they would still climax and have an orgasm. They feel terrible for it.
Yeah.
And then also I learned through this book that back in the day, if a woman, so the way society views men and women sexual experiences is that women are like men light, meaning we have the same desires, the same arousal, the same kind of like we get horny, but not the same as men because it's like the light version
We
of
discount
it.
men.
Yeah, it's
we're
like
the
that.
app. We're the app that we didn't pay the full thing for.
So they
Yeah,
think
exactly.
that what
We're the free
turns them
version.
on turns us on, but
Exactly.
just less often.
Yes. So that's how.
Oh, that's like way wrong.
so that's how
Such
the
an
culturally.
ego way of thinking
Yeah.
about it.
But
Such a
it's not
man
just-
way of thinking.
For sure. But it's not just men. It's as a society, like as a culture, this is how we've all viewed sex between men and women. And through this book, I'm learning like, what the fuck? Like, no, like women are a completely different being. Like we
Yeah.
have completely different desires and arousals, and like our bodies react differently. Our bodies are shaped differently. We all have the same parts arranged in different ways, which she repeats in this book 1,000 times. But I honestly super recommend this book. It's really educational.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go read that.
Yeah, I used to like get horny in my head, but like my birth control wouldn't let me get wet. Like it was a problem, you know. I had to switch birth control up, but I was on it for like a year, and I had to use lube all the time, and I thought that was totally normal until like I switched birth control, and I was like, oh shit, my body can make it like produce its own
birth
fluids.
control does that. Antidepressants, all kinds of stuff.
Certain medications can do that.
So not just that, talking about getting wet. Sorry, Gina. It's because I'm so excited about this topic.
No,
Because I
be
learned so
excited.
much.
It makes me happy. I love your passion.
I learned so much, so I'm just so like, okay. So the other thing, when I was on Ask the Fields, which is another YouTube channel from long ago,
I was on it.
Yeah. So during that show, and also just to point out, I was like super camera shy. So it
that was like early
TIFF days in front of the camera, and so I struggled a lot to contribute to that show. But anyway, the only thing that I do remember contributing quite often is me talking about how I like to use lube, and people grabbed that information and said, oh, Tiff can't get wet, like, oh, she's broken, like something's wrong with her, how could she not get wet, like she's definitely not doing something, blah 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 blah. All these people had all these opinions about my body.
It's rude.
Yes.
So they were like 16 years old.
Yeah,
they're all
Probably.
fucking assholes.
So then, but not just that, but then it kind of like turned into this thing, even like outside of the comment section. And people were just like, oh, well, Tiff wants lube again, like Tiff with the lube. And it's like, what the fuck? It's actually,
I know, it's so weird.
You guys can do anything else?
I thought, like, I don't know, that just seemed like a normal part of sex.
Yeah, we
So-
learned about it in sex ed.
So that's the thing that is another like cultural misconception or
Yeah.
something. If you need to use lube, you're broken. It's very incorrect to think that way, because lube is actually safer to use when you're having sex, because that prevents
Tearing?
harmful friction is what I was trying to say, and tearing,
Especially
exactly.
if you're doing it in the butt.
And
I'm not really a fan of, but you need lube for that. It's like,
K-Way wouldn't be a booming company.
yeah,
right?
People didn't.
It's not just
like
an old
lube.
person thing.
you know what's something crazy that I learned too is that men need lube too.
Yeah.
So especially like if you're not circumcised or something, you have the foreskin, that some men like they actually, it hurts if you just pull it back without any lube, and if they haven't created their own juices because of arousal non-concordance, then they need to grab the lube. And so a lot of people feel shame in that, and you don't need to, because it's the most natural, normal thing. It's actually good to use lube.
A lot of the because I've had several uncircumcised penises, and several of them, like, they needed it to be more wet, like they're more sensitive.
Yeah. Mine's the opposite. Like he made his own. Like it's almost like he made his own fluids.
Well,
and-
that can happen too. But sometimes they're, I mean, if they're dry too, but their dicks
what
are
I'm
definitely more
talking about.
sensitive.
Again, everyone's different.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Like,
say it
it's the same
1,000
thing-
times.
same
Arousal
parts.
non-concordant.
It's the same thing with me. Like I
And
remember
same parts, different ways.
there was a birth control. The Nuva ring made me dry, and it killed my lip. I couldn't even make a dirty joke. Like it
Yeah.
was just dead, right? And then at other times, I'm not even turned on, but sometimes it's like the fucking Nile River. It's like, bro, chill. There's nothing going on right now.
Dude, the patch played the meanest prank on me. My boobs got huge. Like they grew like 2
man.
cup sizes. They were so big, but it hurt to even touch them, like brush against them. So my boyfriend just wanted to grab them all day long. I was like, I can't even.
Yeah.
I
It's
can't
like
even
he's
like brush
punching
them
you
with my
when he's
shirt. My
barely
shirt would
touching
hurt.
you.
cruel. That's so cruel.
Yeah, it was so mean.
Yeah, it's
I was like,
super mean.
all my life I wanted big boobs.
Yeah.
And then I got them, and you can't touch them.
Life is cruel for women. Like this is
It
catch-22.
is.
Like I want you to come inside me, but then now I'm stuck with a baby. I don't want that shit. You know, like I can never get anything.
But you know what you can get?
Can't have anything.
You know what you can get, Gina?
What's up?
You can get
Discounts.
exactly. Discounts online.
Probably.
Discounts on lube.
Yes, discounts on lube with Honey. So Honey is a free browser extension that finds promo codes for you and automatically applies them to your cart. There have been so many times, especially right now with our new home, I've been purchasing a lot of things, especially for the new backyard that we just finished, and Honey has saved me so much money. It's been amazing. So all you have to do is when you're shopping, you add things to your cart, you wait a few, and then that's when Honey gives you like a little notification and lets you know like, hey, there's some promo codes that I can use to see if I'll save you some money. And then so you just click on it, you wait a few seconds as it's cycling through a whole bunch of codes, and you just watch those savings go up because you're saving money. And and the prices drop. So savings go up, prices drop. There we
I
go.
use it almost every day. It's fantastic.
Yeah, right. It's amazing. So Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, it's a lot, right?
It's a lot of doll hairs.
Doll hairs. So it's simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and it works with whatever browser you use. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/mood. That's joinhoney.com/mood.
It's literally like having a little old Chinese lady haggle everything for you every time you shop. Do you know how great that is?
I found a better deal over here.
Right? Exactly. She's like, no. We walk away and they'll come after us. Like it's amazing.
Oh, and also I have to mention they give you a little like chart thingy. Like for example, I was looking at this surround sound system, and they were like, wait. If you wait a little longer, the prices are gonna drop. So they even give you like suggestions.
And this is a free app, so there's no reason for you guys not to download it ever.
Browser extension.
But also, if you're shopping and you're hungry, HelloFresh is a thing, and it's awesome.
Hello.
I've been
Fresh
cooking so
food.
much at home lately, but then sometimes like I could cook a little bit more, but the thing is I don't really want to go grocery shopping because then that means I have to be in public, which kind of sucks. So HelloFresh cuts out the stressful meal planning and grocery store trips so you can enjoy cooking and getting dinner on the table in about 30 minutes or even less. They deliver a box full of everything that you need for meals and gives you instructions on how to cook it, even a picture so you can see how to plate it. There's over 90% of the ingredients are sourced directly from growers to ensure the freshest recipes are delivered to your door. It's you can easily change your delivery days or food preferences and skip a week whenever you need. I personally like, and it's always been my favorite, the cherry balsamic pork chops.
Ooh.
That sounds amazing.
Cherry balsamic.
And then if I want to lie to the world, I cook it. If I want to lie to the world, I cook it and I post it on my Instagram story, and people are like, "Oh my God, Gina, you're so great at cooking. You're so wifey material." And that's how I trap them. That's how you trap them. So if you guys out there, you guys want to do some trapping, here you go. So for now, you can try out America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/80BigMood and use code 80BigMood to get a total of $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/80BigMood and use code 80BigMood to get a total of $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Make yourself some food.
I want a t-shirt with someone walking away with a bunch of hair and a doll that's bald, and it says, "That's a lot of doll hairs."
God bless.
That sounds really creepy.
That's what I want.
I'm imagining the
Get ready for our new merch coming out in December.
I'm picturing like the Toy Story doll that
the bald one with one eye. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. And then like
spider legs.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Creepy little thing. But then you feel sorry for them afterwards.
Yeah, and she,
poor
yeah,
babies.
it's
You
nice.
learn.
It's a nice.
You
I
learn.
still
Story.
never felt sorry for that one.
What?
Anything that looks like a spider deserves to die.
Oh my God. He's so sweet though.
Nah.
She helped him.
Nah,
She
it's
helped
ugly.
him.
Nope, don't like it. It's ugly.
She's a survivor. I love her.
I love it.
I just feel like the whole virginity thing it just seems like such a huge, daunting thing in high school, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like
everybody,
a huge deal when you're young.
But then when you grow older, you realize it wasn't that big of a fucking deal.
It's really not.
It's not at all.
I think like there might be a moment where you're like, oh, if I gave it to the total asshole guy that didn't have any feelings for me at all, like even when you're, a little bit older, you might be like, nah, I could have done that better. But at the same time, it's like once it's over, and it really doesn't matter anymore.
Not
Like
really.
what matters is the man standing in front of you, as you're married or whatever. Like whoever fucked you when you were 16 or 18 doesn't matter.
Nope.
I would say, ideally, I would want, if I was to do it all over again, like I liked the way that I lost my virginity to somebody that where at the afterwards you didn't feel like something was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I
you-
feel like I didn't
I never felt that.
lose mine.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Because some people, I've heard some virginity horror stories where like not rape or anything like that, but like my one friend, she wanted to lose her virginity, and she got pressured by a cool guy in school, like a popular guy, and she just wanted to be cool.
Yeah.
And she thought that like letting him take her virginity would like buy her into the club, basically. And then
or connect her to him in some way.
Yeah, and then,
it doesn't work like that.
No, and then afterwards he like didn't talk to her anymore, and she
got what he
felt
wanted.
like
Oh, she felt used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, if it's important to you, which I feel like your sexuality should be somewhat important.
Well, it's your
like-
body too.
Yeah, it's your body.
Yeah.
Like if I feel like there's a level of respect that you should have for yourself and kind of build with yourself. And when you're ready to share that with somebody, then that's the good time to lose it. Like, and with a person that you feel comfortable with losing it to. But if you're gonna at the end of the day do it to gain something or do it for like some alternative purpose or to try to fill a void within yourself, I just don't think it'll work out for you.
That's true.
No.
Or it might not. The way
Yeah,
that
she
you
could
want.
just wait because it doesn't seem like she's fully ready. There's a guy
Obviously
that's
not,
for sure. Yeah, like
If
don't
she's-
worry about it, girl. Just wait.
Yeah, because you can want to lose your virginity. It doesn't mean that you are actually ready to lose
Yeah.
your virginity. Because that seems what's happening. It seems to be what's happening with her because she's saying that she really wants to, but then she's turning everyone down that is approaching her and that she's
Well, they're
lying
probably all
about it.
scrubs. I mean,
Probably.
fucking 16, 17-year-old guys ain't shit anyway. Like, I get it.
Yep.
They don't deserve you, honey.
I remember at one point where I was like, I'm never gonna have sex. I was very young.
Yeah.
It was when I first learned about sex.
Yeah.
Because it just looked painful. And then even when
kind
I
of is.
yeah, and
it
then
is.
even when I like got to where I was really horny, like where I was masturbating, you know, I could only watch gay porn because seeing a dick go into the vagina like made me just feel like that was
Yeah.
gonna be painful.
Cringe, yeah.
Even tampons kind of hurt. So
You know something?
I remember not wanting to lose it.
That's true. No, I remember wanting to, like, now as an adult, I kind of wish I would have explored more with myself before I jumped into something else, like with someone else, like losing my virginity or whatever, because I had never really gotten to know how my body even worked, like given myself the permission to explore my own body. Like I kind of first gave it to someone else, really. And that's something I kind of wish I would have gotten to know more about myself. But yeah, I mean, because it's something very sacred to the individual, and it might not be to another individual. Like it kind of wasn't for me, really. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I'm kind
mean-
of conflicted with it.
I kind of feel that way, I guess, about if on the opposite end of promiscuity, it's like if you feel like, yeah, like kind of how we were saying, if you feel like you're going to feel like you lost it or you're just doing it to gain something or whatever, it's like there's some girls, and I feel like for me, it was like I enjoyed, I don't know, like just the game of sex. Like to me, it was a game for a long time. And then when I got into a relationship, then I'm like, oh, well, this is fun because I'm connecting with another person. But none of my relationships were really good or were actual love. So, but I still enjoyed the game part of it. And I had fun for the game of having sex. But at the end of the day, a lot of times the sex was like, I would never come anyway because we're just having a one-night stand or something. So it's not super fulfilling.
True.
So I go back and forth, I think, like you do too, where it's like, well, you could hold it. It's super special and sacred. But also at the end of the day, like, do I care that I had a lot of
Yeah.
shitty sex experiences? No, not really.
Yeah, because like for me, I didn't. So I was hyper aware of not being like what our society views as women. Like I did not want to be a hoe or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a slut. I didn't want to sleep with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But I did like the exploration of it. So
Yeah.
that's how I felt conflicted about it in terms of promiscuity. I just felt like I wanted to explore. I wanted to find out more, and I wanted to gain that experience. But I also was very cautious about not getting a high body count because I felt like I was gonna be dirty or whatever the
Yeah.
societal pressures
It's
of that.
Totally like one-sided for
Yeah.
men because it doesn't matter how many they've had.
Because they always
Exactly.
do that whole like, well, if one key opens up a bunch of locks and it's a good key, but if a lock is opened up by a bunch of keys and it's a bad lock kind of thing. Have you guys heard that?
Yeah.
I haven't heard
Like,
that
I never
one.
heard
Really?
that.
Okay,
It's
so
on
the metaphor
Twitter
they
like
always-
every fucking few months.
Wow.
The metaphor they use is if a key can open many locks, the dick can open, then that's a good key. But if a lock is opened by many keys, then that's a fucked up lock.
Because it's not locking. It's not
That's
like
so shitty.
Personally, it's like, for me, if you want to flip it, that's like saying if a pencil sharpener can sharpen a fuck ton of pencils, that's a good pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
You know, like, so
True.
fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
if a
people
pencil
always-
keeps getting sharpened by
Yeah, you're going to become
then it's
useless.
just a little tiny nub.
Yeah. Which looks like exactly the same length as the people who use that stupid fucking metaphor.
Exactly.
So dumb.
Yeah, I think honestly, like if we erased society and culture, like having sex there's nothing bad
It's
about it. Like we
natural.
all
Yeah.
have to
Supernatural.
progress our species.
Yeah.
So I don't know who came in, probably men to control women.
No, it
But-
actually was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you learn about that in the book. Too. I recommend the book.
The only other reason to be against promiscuity is just for like disease, I
Yeah.
guess, or unplanned pregnancy. But if you're taking care of that part of it, and also you're mentally healthy, you're okay with the sex and like what the transaction is or the emotional exchange is, then there really isn't an issue with it. So I don't know.
I think being raised Catholic, or any, like a lot of religions, like drilled into like marriage first. But then when I decided to lose it at 16, not only was I like, well, I'm probably gonna marry this guy, but I also was thinking about, I started questioning like what made when they made those rules, who was making them. And back then people were getting married at 14 to 17 years old when
They
their
didn't even live
hormones
that long
were
either.
high.
Yeah.
Like you're the most fertile, so obviously it was easy for them to be like, get married first.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Because you're gonna die at 30 anyway.
yeah.
True.
It's so unhealthy with the whole like, oh, save yourself for marriage kind of thing. Like, if you guys want to do it, do it. But I've heard so many stories of people who are literally getting married just so they can have sex, and now
Yes.
they're stuck in
Yes.
this shitty situation.
It's not going to guarantee
Yeah.
whatever you think it's going to guarantee. It's not
Yeah.
going to guarantee that that marriage is going to last because you think a man will only love you if you're pure. It's not going to guarantee that your relationship's going to be good because you haven't slept around, so you're only going to value this man. Like, it's not going to guarantee whatever you think it's going to guarantee.
It's not going to guarantee a good sex life either.
It's not, no, because you're not going to get to practice and have fun and learn new things and
And compare and contrast.
compare and
'cause
contrast.
I really didn't
That's
know.
what men don't like, I think. They don't
Yeah.
like us comparing and contrasting.
That's why I didn't think that I liked sex that much
Yeah.
until I had good sex, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize there's a whole nother level.
Exactly, but men shoot themselves in the foot because the more sexually active you are, the more engaged you become in sex, the more you like sex, the
Yeah.
more you get good at sex, and then the man benefits from that. So any man that sleeps with me is gonna have a good ass time.
Yeah.
Because honestly, virgins would not be that.
Yeah, they would be boring, but if you have some weird ego thing and you just
Yeah.
want the girl to only sleep with you, then have fun with that.
It's 'cause- it's so
have
they
fun
don't-
with that sack of sand. No,
so
I'm
that they
kidding.
don't disappoint.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, I mean, I definitely respect women that keep it to themselves, that
Yeah.
don't have a lot of sex. I'm playing a joke role with that, but yeah, I don't know. For this girl, just fucking. How about we just revisit at 21? I don't think you're
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like what constitutes being ready, and for me it's like when you're ready, when you feel like you're making the decision,
Yeah,
not being
exactly.
pressured into making the
It sounds
decision.
like high school pressure is getting to her, and that's playing into. I mean, sure, she's probably curious too.
If you
Yeah.
just sit there and just say like, yeah, actually, I really do want to lose my virginity to this guy. This is what I want, and like 100% feel it. Then go
I think
ahead.
you'll know, like when the
You'll know.
guy is there and you want him, you'll know when it's time. Like it's
Yeah.
You know
super
what,
easy.
too? Like I imagine right now in this exact time, there's extra pressure for teenagers to lose their virginity because now as a society, I don't know, maybe this is me sounding old or whatever, but I do feel like it is getting more sexual because even when
Yeah.
we were high school kids, it was fucking sexual,
Extremely.
like crazy.
Yeah.
It was like booty, 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 booty everywhere.
Rocking
But
everywhere.
rocking
Grinding.
everywhere.
The
Yeah,
thong,
grinding
thong,
was
thong, thong.
grinding was huge. So sex is like really like pushed in front of your face constantly all the time. So
Yeah.
I get it. There's those pressures, but yeah, like what these ladies just said, like just look within yourself, see if this partner that you're about to share this with is someone that you want to share it with, because yeah, you don't want to end up feeling like someone just took something from you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because luckily I didn't feel that when I lost my virginity. It was also kind of like, here, take it. Like, not like,
you were like,
not like
hey,
I was
I'm ready to
guarding-
get this over with. So
Yeah.
can you please help me?
And
Yeah.
even if the person that you give it to and you don't work out, it's not the end of the world. Like it's not. You didn't.
You
make
should
a huge
expect
mistake.
that it won't
You
work
should expect
out.
That yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think
It's not a huge
all
mistake.
of the same advice applies for even now as an adult, you know, our age.
Yeah.
Like if you're single still, it's like, don't give it to someone who's going to make you feel like you lost something or who's not going to respect you. It's like, it doesn't even matter. So I think the virginity part of it doesn't really matter. That's just something to carry for your entire life. Men and women, actually, if you're going to feel like, oh, this girl used me. She's a party girl. She used me. She fucking banged me. And then now she's sleeping with Chad.
True.
And I'm
Yeah.
pissed. It's like, well, don't give it to someone that you think you're going to, you know, be sad about after. Like,
Dude, honestly, I just recommend for all you virgins out there, just read that book I just told you. Come as you are. You'll be so educated and you'll understand. You'll approach the topic of sex and women's bodies, even like you yourself, if you're a girl, your body as a woman, in a completely different light, a more educated, more like open and understanding light. So, or perspective. So I highly recommend that book.
And you shouldn't feel dirty for not. There's no reason for you to feel dirty because one, it's a very natural thing. This is what we do. Humans, we reproduce. Animals reproduce. You know, and you shouldn't feel dirty.
yeah, there's monkeys out there fucking, dude.
Yeah.
They just straight
Right now,
fuck.
at
They're
this
Very
moment.
natural for
Yeah.
you to want to
And,
have
like,
sex.
People try to push the whole like purity thing, but like that's fucking stupid. You're not gonna.
That's just a
If you-
construct.
yeah, if you lose your virginity, there's not gonna be a label on your head that
Yeah,
says not a
there's
virgin
no scarlet
anymore.
letters here. We
Yeah.
are not living.
You're
in
not
that
gonna
time.
walk different,
Yeah.
mom. Because
Oh
my
my
mom
God.
told me that I walk
maybe
different.
the next morning.
Well, maybe if it's still kind of
Jesus,
sore.
yeah,
If it's, I've walked. Sometimes I'll walk a little differently if it's a little
That's
sore.
so
She wakes
funny.
up, she's like, Tiff's walking like a whore today.
Yeah, she literally said, "I knew you lost your virginity because you started walking
My
different."
lips are swollen.
Oh, I remember.
You know,
those. I had
like
to
those-
ice them down.
Yes.
those days
It gets
that when
painful sometimes.
when
Yeah.
they beat the pussy up, this
Yeah.
shit gets swollen. So you might.
And then also, if you are losing virginity, because another thing too, like when I lost my virginity, I got with the guy that I lost it to. He made me feel like a liar, like a hoe, like
What?
like the worst thing ever because I didn't bleed from losing my virginity.
God.
oh,
Dude.
yeah.
And I was like,
That goes back
what?
to the Hymen
I lost
bullshit.
my hymen.
Exactly.
I'm in like second grade. There was 2 incidences that happened like within a week because I switch off because I don't know exactly which one did it. But one where I fell on the crossbar of my bike and I was
I
bleeding
did that
there.
so many
Owie.
times.
Did you bleed?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
You lost your virginity to your bike?
to my bike.
Wild.
It was a hot bike though, so
I
it was
bet.
worth it.
Was it huffy?
Yeah.
No training wheels?
Yeah.
That's
no
hot.
training wheels
It's
and
really
none of
hot.
that padding in between
my
the bar. You
God.
know that how they have the padding thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I had a
Just
little
straight
bell.
metal.
Annabelle?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, babe.
What was the other incident?
The other incident was I was climbing this on our playground at school. They had this thing. They called it the big toy, but it was all made of wood, and they had like this one plank of wood that was sloping up, and I tried to climb it, and I fell, like right on it, and I had to go to the nurse's office because it was bleeding.
Damn.
I
So-
think I hit mine in gymnastics too, because I was in gymnastics for a little bit when I was a little girl.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
they have you on the bars, and
Yeah.
it's like you just slam your fucking cooch
Owie.
right on that shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
Dude, my mom
Yeah.
had to ask me if people touched me because there were like huge bruises from
Yeah.
gymnastics.
Oh. But yeah, so you don't have to bleed. It's not a must. It's not a requirement for you to lose your virginity. Also, losing your virginity has different meanings or definitions to every person too. Like usually,
yeah, is it just penis and vagina,
Yeah.
or is there more?
yeah, like everyone has their
I
own
thought it was
version
penis and vagina.
of what virginity is.
No, if you have it in the butt, you're still a virgin.
Some people
I learned that from Mean
consider
Girls.
that.
Yeah.
I really
bullshit,
believe
by the way.
I believe
Yeah.
that.
So
So
a penis entering your mouth, butthole, or vagina.
I definitely
all
did.
the
I did
same.
my mouth
Yeah.
and my butt and 69. Wait,
You
I thought
thought
that
you were
was
a virgin?
completely virgin.
No,
Yeah.
What's that girl duo that made that song? Do it in the butt because we love Jesus.
what?
Remember? Like I don't remember what it
I don't
was
know.
because they want to keep their virginity. I forgot.
That does not mean they kept
See,
it.
like this
Unless-
construct, and then these fucking loopholes and like bullshit that we make. Like, come on.
I wish it wasn't even just called a virginity anymore. Can you just ask people like, hey, you had sex before? Yeah. You know, like who the fuck cares?
Well, then
Or
like
this
wet
V
satin.
card,
The V
the
card.
pop in the cherry, like
Yeah.
everything's just
It's like a
so-
trophy too.
you ever
Yeah,
banged?
it's
Yeah.
weird.
All right. Cool.
She banged. She banged.
All right, and on that note,
Yeah. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, like this video, and if you're
Rate us on
listening,
iTunes. It helps us so
Exactly.
much.
5 stars. Rate us 5 stars. We love you so much. Make sure to comment down below what your thoughts are on this episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.